Okay, found the problem, I think. Again, we can select a layer and turn on the layer of Pluto, and we need to select the elements within this selection. You can also deselect here and select on the purple area, which is the neighborhood. And then I was in the correct path, select by location, and it is correct that it has to be select elements within Pluto and select the source layer as NYNTA, but I forgot to select this use selected features, and then you use R within the source layer feature. You say OK, and there you have it. Okay, so now what you can do is very simply right click on the Pluto and say selection, create layers from selected features, and it comes up there. You could have everything turned off, or you could have as a background if you want this element only, which you can create another layer, like right click and again selection, create layer from. You can just place it underneath by dragging it, and there, this is going to be one of your layers to work with. So this layer, you can just extract the same information as we've been extracting. So you can extract school districts, zip codes, police district, you can place names, or you can get the zoning regulation, or you can get the height of the building. So all this data will be regarding this building. So this selection process is not only for the Pluto. If you deselect the Pluto and you bring another layer, let's say add the data, you can go to census, for example, or demographics census, block groups, I think, and you can place a shapefile regarding census. If you check on the census, you can check the attributes table and see what you can find here. You have the population of different races. You have the population on the total. This 2010, non-Hispanic, white, black, Asian, etc. You have males of 20, 21, 24, 22. So all these are heat maps that are very valuable. Females of this age. So this is, I think, a very interesting set of data. So you can also search for other data just by adding data to the element. No? The important thing is that we know how to select within the same tool. By selecting our previous selection, we can go to select by location, and maintaining this intact, we can keep on selecting actually I did that wrong, because now we have to change. Obviously this one is not Pluto, it's going to be NY district groups. I don't know why I cannot click on selected features now. Probably have to turn off this one. Turn on that one. Select by location, and now we can say use selected features from this. So you can say OK. And there you have them. No? That one you can also add by pressing shift and start adding to some elements if you're more like less. So again, you could do, if you do a select by location, I want to have the data for the census within NYNTA. Let me close that and select it. You select it by location, make sure that's selected, and within the source layer you can say OK. And you see how it doesn't select all of them? It's because they're probably, those shapefiles are just a little bit outside of it. So you can just start pressing Control and adding to those. Sorry, Shift, not Control. There you go, Shift, and you add, because you might have some, in Control to deselect. So you can actually select quite powerfully with this tool. So you can have those, and again right click on the layer that has all the data, and you can say selection and create layers. Always the same strategy, okay? So for example, this one is missing this element, so you could have that one included. So what can we get from this data, no? Is the question now. Well, we can get a lot of things, no? We can just start checking the attribute table, let's just say, and do a heat map on population, no? For example, we can go to properties. And under symbology, you can go to quantities and just select one of the values, such as, I don't know, like males. It will give you where there are more males than there are more males here and there versus the other one. So these are like very obviously dummy. I would recommend that you start thinking more like you know, like what kind of, like for example, older ages, like 80 to 84. And you can say, okay, and this is where the older people are located. So all this information is quite powerful to have, and I think you just need to start deciding what type of data you want to work with and incorporate it within the model. Okay, so again, that would be like the Bronx, but again, you could have the Manhattan one if you want to select that neighborhood because it has some public housing, and you will go through the same process, turning on for example, the Pluto. Okay. For Manhattan, there is the whole thing. And now you need to select by location, make sure that's checked, and you want to select within the Pluto option all those elements. And then last step, right click, selection, create new layer, and that's actually the way to get that. You could also just leave this one as a new layer, just selection, create, it's over here, selection, create layer, turn off that one, you bring it underneath, so that will be, for example, another of your little components that you can analyze now. Again, the niches will be there, so you can also probably locate a better neighborhood regarding niche, so that wouldn't be the best option. Let me try that again then. We'll go Manhattan. So probably this neighborhood would make more sense, or Harlem area. And again, the same step again and again. So I turn off the niche. I'm going to turn on the Pluto map, which is selection by location from the Pluto map. This source layer and you selected features are within the source layer. You can create a new layer by right-clicking, selection, create new layer. There we have it. Turn off, so it always pops up at the top, and you can even select again same element and right-click, create new layer. Turn off, drag it underneath, and this will be the map that you're working on, Manhattan. So one after the other one, and extracting the data you're interested in. Again, by checking first the attribute table from whatever data you have. I mean, moving Pluto, and check what you have. No? Let's say you want height of buildings for whatever reason, or you have land use. We have done that already. We're not that much interested. By building area, you can just right click and set the properties, quantities or categories. In this case, quantities, and you can say by building area. You can click that to clean it up a bit, and you have a heat map on that feature. You can change the color of the background, obviously, just by double clicking here and making it a little bit like less presence. There you go. That could be one very simple, straightforward one. Another one, again, just instead of quantities, which is more like a gradient or a heat map, you can go to categories and select other options. Not sure which one we can select, but you can just say the land use as we used. We're not gonna. It's total number of floors. Let's see how many we have there. Probably too many, but you could start grouping. For example, between 18 and 31, you can group those. Those are like high elements, etc. You can say, and you get that map that gives you more of a scale of height, which could be probably better a heat map in that case. Just to give you another example. Just to finish this, I wanted to do the paper space organization. I'll probably do that in the next video, so we can do the Illustrator concern that most of you are having now.